Okay, here we are back again on this 2018 Chrysler Pacifica that has kind of been a pain in the butt here most recently. At any rate, ran across a reoccurring issue this last week or so, and basically what was happening is I get the battery light on the dash that says that the vehicle will be shutting down soon, to park the vehicle because it will be shutting down soon. And so I switched real quick over to the voltage output on the display, and it was at 11 volts, 11.2, something like that. So I knew it wasn't charging. So I was like, okay, or why are we in this situation where we're not charging again? Now on this vehicle, the voltage regulation portion of it is built into the PCM, and so I figured, well, this is probably a wiring issue of some kind. So I've been kind of trying to poke around and see what I could find. And basically I was just doing a visual inspection to see if I could find any issues related to this. But so at this point I've got the air cleaner box assembly removed, and a couple of other items that were just kind of bulky and in the way of me being able to do this inspection that I needed to do. Now, just in case you're wondering, this is the PCM back here behind the air filter box, so got down here and I took this ground off and I cleaned it well, and I started following all of these wires related to this electrical system, the batteries specifically. So the one that runs from the auxiliary. So I followed the positive wire here. I was also following the negative wire and this little battery, intelligent battery sensor thing that's on the negative post here. Bottom line was that I pulled all these wires off and I tested them. They've all got continuity, so I know I don't have any open wires. There's nothing broken here. They are capable of transmitting electricity, which is what they're supposed to do. But then I got down to this little relay here, right here. Now this is on the positive side of the battery. So this is one of these wires comes from the auxiliary positive post of the battery and runs into this little relay, and the other one runs up to the primary battery. And then it's got a little connector down here on the bottom that runs to the PCM that monitors this relay. Well, long story short is that I had an issue with the relay. Let me see if I can get the old one. Let's see, where did I put it? Here we go. So this is the old one. This relay's about $100 at the dealer, whatever it was. So this terminal, the wire was connected to, and the nut was tight, and it was tight in the relay itself. This one, the one in the middle, the nut was tight and the wire was tight, but this entire, I'm trying to wiggle it so maybe you can see it, but this entire post here was loose in the relay itself. So even though the wire was good and tight, the nut on top of that wire was tight, it was loose at the base of the relay. So I don't know what that looks like internally. You can kind of see the difference there between the one and the other. And anyways, it was loose, so I figured, well, maybe it's broken off on the inside. I'm not sure exactly what was going on with that terminal, but I decided to replace the whole relay. That was pretty much the only thing that I could see visually that could potentially be an issue here of why I might have an open in this system. So fingers crossed that that's what the issue is. I'll know a little bit more once I get this all put back together and try to start it. But I checked ohms on the negative battery cables. So I pulled both batteries out. Underneath the battery tray is the primary negative connection to the body. You can't really see it here, and I probably should have videoed some of that before I put this all back together. But it is it's up underneath the battery tray, and it's bolted right directly to the frame of the vehicle, and then another line comes off of that and bolts to the transmission. So it's grounded to the transmission, it's grounded to the body, and those negative wires come up here, and they become part of this negative post here on this side, and it also becomes part of this negative post for the auxiliary battery. So they're all tied together. So anyways, long story short, I pulled that whole assembly off where it's grounded to the chassis, and I cleaned the terminal really well. I cleaned the nut really well, and then I put it all back together. And then I took a wire brush to pretty much every one of these terminals, and cleaned them up as best I could, and so I should have good connection from that standpoint. There wasn't any real corrosion to speak of, so it wasn't like I was cleaning corrosion. I was just basically ensuring that I'm going to get a good connection when I put this all back together. So I'm hoping by cleaning that ground wire and putting this new relay on, that would have hopefully taken care of this issue. I know loose ground wires and loose connections in general can cause a whole crazy amount of problems, many of which are difficult to find. You just kind of have to start tearing into the wiring harness and trying to figure out what the issue was. But I was more apt to believe that this was a wiring issue, probably a cable issue, than I was condemning the PCM, because I really didn't think that's where the issue was. It could still be. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying, if I put a PCM on this thing, it's going to be last resort. I've checked everything else prior to getting to that. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to put this thing back together, give it a try, and see if that eliminates this problem I've been having. Stay tuned. Okay, some good news. So took this vehicle out for a test drive, and it turns out that that this little relay was in fact my problem. Like I said, got it replaced immediately when I started the vehicle up. I had 14 and a half volts, which is right about where it should be. So hopefully that will take care of the issue. From what I understand, this is the start-stop relay for this vehicle, and like I said, it had a loose terminal. That center terminal was loose. The battery cable and the nut were tight, but the terminal itself was loose, broken on the inside. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is or why it happened, but that was in fact a problem. So I guess the moral of the story is that a lot of these issues are not alternator related. Even though the vehicle's not charging, you kind of want to condemn the alternator right from the get-go. That wasn't the case here. This alternator is relatively new, so I pretty much ruled that out right from the get-go. Voltage regulation is handled by the PCM. I didn't want to condemn that either until I checked out all the wiring. So that was my culprit. Got it fixed. Car's back on the road. Good to go. Thanks for watching.